What if I told you that there's actually a space station on planet Earth? A station that is so isolated, so remote, that 8 months of the year, no people can get in or out. It's inaccessible. And what if I told you that 12 days ago, this Earthbound space station closed its doors with 42 people inside, 5 of them are women. They will live in this elevated station that's about 80,000 square feet, which is about the size of this entire conference center. They each will have one private room to themselves, which is just a little bit bigger than this red circle I'm standing on. The rest of their time will be spent eating together in the galley, binging on Netflix in the TV lounge, playing pool and foosball, yoga, a poetry reading maybe. There will definitely be several costume parties, and they'll sit in the sauna. In about 30 days, they will run completely out of fresh food and vegetables. And any vegetables that they eat after that will come from the hydroponic greenhouse, which is also a science project. And all the other food that they eat will either be frozen or tinned. All of their power and water will come from 4 generators. Due to a lack of water, they will only be allowed 2 2-minute showers a week and 1 load of laundry. They will work 6 days a week, 9 hours a day. They will inventory the station, they will repair the station, and they will tend to science. This March, the sun will set, and it will not return until next September. 24 hours a day for 5 months, they will live in complete darkness, as if it's midnight outside. When they leave their Earthbound space station, they will have to wear specialized clothing that covers every single inch of their body, including their eyes. It's called extreme cold weather gear. It'll protect them from the elements. Without extraordinary technological assistance, these 42 people could not survive. Now, it may sound like I was just telling you a pretty crazy sci-fi movie, but this is actually all true. These 42 people exist right now, and they are wintering over at South Pole Station in Antarctica. Admonson Scott, South Pole Station, at the bottom of the world, in the middle of the Antarctic continent. They are thousands of miles from any other human beings, and they will be there from now until next November, when the first planes can arrive. Now, I have such a soft place in my heart for these winter-overs, because I am one. I'm the 146th woman to ever winter over at the South Pole, and I have wintered over twice. Now, Antarctica is a continent. It's the highest, driest, windiest continent in the world. It is almost completely covered by an ice sheet that is 3 miles thick in places. It also, weirdly enough, is a polar desert. Antarctica, especially the South Pole, receives less precipitation a year than all of the Sahara Desert. When you see snow drifts in photos from Antarctica or March of the Penguins, it's actually the wind that has shaved the ice sheet. And what you're left with is something more the texture of really thick sugar. You can't pack it into a snowball. There's no moisture in it, but it is phenomenal for sledding. Antarctica also is a continent with no countries, no government. You don't need a passport to go there. It is completely governed by something called the Antarctic Treaty. And the Antarctic Treaty is amazing in that it has set aside the entire continent of Antarctica for the sole purpose of scientific discovery, with the agreement in the treaty that any discovery must be shared with everyone else in the world. Now, not just scientists live on the continent of Antarctica, because that would be awkward. It actually takes an entire village to keep these remote stations going. We need carpenters and electricians, we need welders, we need plumbers, we need people who understand our water supply, we need cooks and dishwashers, snow shovelers. And because of the remote location, almost all of our materials are flown in on aircraft, military aircraft. So we also need a cargo and materials team to manage everything that is flown in. And that was my job. I worked in cargo and materials. I drove heavy equipment. My team was almost completely made up of women. And if I can misquote Shakespeare just a little bit, in Antarctica, women may be few, but we are fierce. We drive heavy equipment in my team. We were responsible for delivering all of the materials that are flown in. We also were responsible for counting everything all of the time. We were responsible for what are called the berms, which are mile-long shelves carved out of snow that we use as outside warehouses, because we don't really have warehouses. We also sometimes dropped things. We dropped things a lot. For one brief period of time, because I'm obviously not a scientist, right? I was a heavy equipment operator and a laborer. I delivered gloves and barrels of oil barrels, drums of oil. But for one brief moment in time, I got to be a part of something so much bigger, something really amazing. I got to support science in Antarctica, where there are 10-meter telescopes that can look so far out into the universe, they're actually peeking into other galaxies. There are underground seismic bunkers that can listen so deep into the core of the Earth that they can tell us every little bump and jiggle that's happening in the Earth and on the surface of the Earth. Every 12 hours, they release weather balloons with little radios on them that signal back information from the skies. The cleanest air in the world is in Antarctica. All pollution studies use a baseline from that beautiful pure air in Antarctica. Scientists have been able to punch into the ice sheet 2 miles deep and bring up ice cores that they literally can read like the rings of a tree. This ice core, that black band, is from volcanic activity 20,000 years ago. Now, the coolest thing was a gigaton neutrino detector. And you have to say it kind of like a villain. Gigaton neutrino detector. It's also known as Ice Cube. And they're studying neutrinos, which are subatomic particles that were born when our universe burped itself into existence. They are loath to interact with anything else. And scientists, when they know they're around, is when 2 neutrinos touch each other and they let off a little burst of energy in the ice sheet. But they don't really know a lot. That's about what they know. But they do know this about neutrinos, that trillions upon trillions upon trillions of neutrinos have, in the few minutes we've been sitting here together, flooded since the beginning of the cosmos towards Earth into our atmosphere. Through the ceiling of this building, the cement, the steel, the tiles, into this auditorium. And these neutrinos have slipped unseen and unfelt into your skin, through your bones, your cells, and back out on their journey. So not all of us are going to get to go to Antarctica. I'm hoping some of you right now are thinking, oh yeah, I want to go to Antarctica. But each one of us, we're part of something really special too. We're part of something really cool. We're all neutrino detectors, or neutrino filters, I should say. Each one of you right now hold a little bit of the cosmos, the mystery of the cosmos inside of you. Thank you.